It's indeed a tremendous honor for me to be at this event, which I believe is the sixth of its kind that the Air Force has put together. First, starting somewhere in 2015 or 2016 under the theme Nation Building Through Maritime Air Security, a very timely topic at that time when Sri Lanka had just come out of a war situation and towards the latter stages of the war where it faced various infringements on its airspace. This time, the topic is fostering shared interests in the Indian Ocean region at a time that the Indian Ocean region has transformed from being a mere passage of maritime trade to a major global nexus of players on security, strategic, economic, environmental, and social issues. Expectedly, the strategic importance of the Indian Ocean has reached its limits with external major powers jockeying for presence and supremacy in the region, whose increasing struggle is to sustain a military presence near the key choke points of the trade routes. It would be relevant to examine the presence of the big powers in the region. The intense upsurge on strategic interest in the area defined as the Indo-Pacific is also linked to the global rise of China. The big power competition between US and China, compelling India to checkmate Sino moves, has the relatively peaceful Indian Ocean region metamorphosing into a key arena of strategic power and political play. A stable Indian Ocean is paramount for India's security environment. The US has relegated the Indian Ocean to support India's role as a net security provider. National interests of states drive the international system. For effective regional defense cooperation, there needs to be a strong sense that commonly held interests are under threat, at risk, or vulnerable, with geostrategic environment being at its core. The growing interest by the European and Middle Eastern nations in the Indian Ocean is a positive development. However, it is important to ensure that this does not lead to increased tensions among the powers in the region. Therefore, it is crucial for all stakeholders in the Indian Ocean region to prioritize a constructive dialogue in the pursuit of shared interests. Upholding lines of communication, adhering to multilaterally agreed rules based on UNCLOS, and utilizing multilateral and bilateral frameworks can work towards ensuring stability in the region. Moving from aspirations for cooperation towards effective action is enormously challenging in the Indian Ocean due to the absence of a region-wide security architecture, common regional identity, or accepted regional leadership framework. For successful defense cooperation, we should also seek to align with and support existing regional frameworks and initiatives. The ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific seeks to lead the shaping of the economic and security architecture in the Southeast Asia, as well as the wider Asia-Pacific and Indian Ocean regions. This is a much-needed collective leadership to evolve a security and economic architecture for the Indian Ocean. These ASEAN mechanisms such as the BIMSTEC and the ASEAN Regional Forum could be cooperative models to be pursued for the region. But we also have the Indian Ocean Rim Association, which spans from Western Australia to South Africa and has maritime security and safety as a priority area of focus. This mechanism could be another ideal and obvious choice for initiating discussions and related action at a politically high level. In fact, the IORA is due to begin this week, with Sri Lanka taking over the chair, and this will obviously be a key topic during this forum. It is observed that the Indian Ocean itself is largely free of conflict and disputes. However, the prism of the Indo-Pacific tensions tend to reflect into the Indian Ocean region. Therefore, it is imperative to keep the big power rivalry and external conflicts out of the Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka upholds a neutral position of abstaining from military alliances and aspires for the Indian Ocean to be devoid of conflict. In fact, it was way back in 1971 that Sri Lanka was successful in having the United Nations General Assembly declare the Indian Ocean, together with the airspace, a zone of peace for all time. This has contributed to the freedom of navigation and overflight aspects. The significant challenge before us is the need to recognize and integrate the interests and involvement of regional and extra-regional power combinations. It is forums such as this that bring about the discussion to strengthen such initiatives. So the importance of what the Air Force has undertaken is tremendous, and I thank the Sri Lanka Air Force for doing this. I'm not going to go into great detail of the air angle of this because there are so many dignitaries and moderators who will be discussing all of this throughout the forum. In fact, we have a very important keynote speaker today, Professor Adam Leong Kokwei, who has tremendous experience in this field. The airspace or air technology has improved tremendously over the decades. In the World War, we saw World War II, we saw mass production of aircraft. It was not technology or quality of the aircraft that they pursued, but mass production, especially on the side of the Allies, where they needed the numbers. They needed the numbers of aircraft that could go, fire the conventional weaponry, and drop the bombs that were required. And if it was lost, it was lost. Of course, the human life was of value, but nevertheless, that was the strategy that was followed there. But now we have advanced. We have advanced in technology. We have advanced in the weaponry, the technology aspect of weaponry, as well as the basic airframe to the material that is used, where material can provide various advantages in technology. Now, in the past, if you wanted to avoid radar, you fly very low. That was what happened during the world wars. But now, the stealth capability comes not from flying low, but from the material that is used and the technology that is used. And now to knock off a sub, you don't need an aircraft. India recently went into a mega purchase of MQ-9B drones, which take out submarines. It's a drone. It doesn't carry a pilot. And that's how much technology has improved. And Sri Lanka, as a very small nation who values its role in the Indian Ocean at this critical time to ensure that there is a free and open Indo-Pacific, is very grateful to everybody that supports it in its role. India, I must make note, has assisted us through this with the provision of a Dornier aircraft. The United States has also come forward and helped our naval capability. And such nations, our friendly nations, who have come and done military training exercises and also joined us at symposiums like this, have supported this role that Sri Lanka values in the Indian Ocean. So again, thank you for putting this together, and thank you to everyone who has come here to discuss this. Like I said, these are the very foundations that are important to ensure that the right discussion takes place for the safety of this region. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the very best.